there, I'm Chef Celeste, and welcome to my Louisiana Kitchen, where we take you all around Louisiana through food. On today's episode, we're talking a New Orleans staple, red beans and rice, and we're gonna follow that up with some honey butter cornbread. So stay tuned, and we're gonna jump right into it. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is talk about our ingredients. Of course, we have our beans, and these are kidney beans. They're already rinsed, and we're gonna take some onion. We're gonna take some green onion. I have some celery. You can add your bell pepper in there. Your Trinity goes in there. I have fresh garlic that's going in there. Now, you see my sausage right here, but I'm gonna put my sausage on the side because those of you that know my style of cooking, I like to have my food clean. That way, if you don't want the meat in there, the meat is still available on the side for all of my meat lovers, okay? So we're gonna, first off, we're gonna chop up the garlic, and we're gonna get all these things in here. And I like to put it in the pot pretty much at one time and let it all just kind of come together, okay? So first off, let's pour our beans in here. This is 2 pounds of beans, okay? So we have our 2 pounds of beans in here. I'm gonna chop the garlic and get that in here. Then I've already started on the onions. That's gonna be a medium dice because this is gonna take a while to cook. It's gonna take at least a couple hours. You can do this in a pressure cooker or any other type thing that would go faster, but traditionally, this is what was done. Red beans started in New Orleans. It's a wash day, a Monday tradition, so that the ladies will put the beans on, and then you just go on about your day doing your wash, and by the time you finish your day up, your beans are ready. So you come in and you can just finish feeding your family. You know, this a lot of times is a Creole staple, but it's broadened out now to restaurants and everybody. Who doesn't love red beans and rice? So that's what we're gonna do here. I'm chopping up my green onions. Yes, I said everything is going in. I'm gonna save some for later because you want to keep that bright, vibrant color in there. So that's what you need. Okay, green onions in. And you can add your water first if you like, but I want you to see everything that I have going in this pot. So let me slice this. You can buy already pre-cut celery if you want. I choose to use it or lose it. You know, I like to not use a lot of gadgets and just do things myself. You should know by now how to hold a knife, but if you don't, it's right here, forefinger here, thumb right here. And you just slice. I'm going to slice a piece off and move the bits down. Take the skin off, and you want to just guide the knife through, okay? Just slide. You see how I'm keeping the tip of the knife on the board? That's what we want to do. And just turn it around and slice. Now, I like to go heavy on my onions, so yes, I'm going to add this in the pot too. This is just extra flavor going in. Okay, look at that. Then we're going to add 2 pinches of salt because we can always come back and add some more salt later if we need to. So that's 2. Now I'm going to do the same with the pepper because I want to give it a little heat. It's not going to be too hot. Then I'm going to take my spice plate. You know I like my spice plate. We're going to add some granulated garlic to enhance what we've already put in here. So sprinkle some of that in. We're going to add some of my steak seasoning. This is the Chef Celeste steak seasoning. Then we're going to add 1 pinch of cayenne pepper. Sprinkle that on there. Okay. Then I have 1, 2, 3 bay leaves. There's a reason I counted these out to you. However many you put in, that's how many you need to take out. When you're serving your beans, you don't want the bay leaf in the plate, okay? So we put that in there. Now I'm gonna add my water. So I'm gonna add about 1/4 water in here. Crank this on high, and I'm gonna bring it up to a boil, and then I'm gonna reduce it and let it start to simmer. So while I'm doing that, and the beans are cooking, I'm gonna work on my cornbread and just put this off to the side and let it cook and let you see how nice and creamy it's gonna get because we have another application when I finish with this. So stay tuned, I'll be right back. All right, now we're gonna talk about our cornbread. If you use a mix, it's okay, I won't talk about you. But here's a quick, simple recipe. Our ingredients, we have flour, we have cornmeal, which is the star of the show, we have sugar, we have baking powder, eggs, oil, a little bit of salt, okay? So let's add in, we're gonna add in about a cup of flour, and then we're gonna add in 2 cups of our cornmeal. So I want you to mix that together. See how that's going along? Just mix it, mix it, mix it. Then add in the sugar. This is a 1/4 cup of sugar. I said it's gonna be sweet. Now we're gonna add 2 pinches of salt. The salt just helps to balance out the sweetness in there. So you need this when you're baking, even if you're making a cake. Now we're gonna add in the baking powder. So we're gonna put 1 tablespoon of baking powder in there. So put that in, mix. Yes, you can put too much, so don't put too much. It'll make it kind of bitter, and you don't want to do that. Now, make sure this is all incorporated well, because you want all of your dry ingredients mixed together, because once you put the wet in, you want that nice balance in there. So it's very important that you mix the dry together before you add your wet. So now, I'm just going to make a little well in here, and I'm going to add 2 eggs. 1, 2. Drop that in. Okay, so the eggs are in there. I'm gonna add my 1/4 cup of oil. Now I'm gonna add my half and half. You can use buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk at home, basically just take some whole milk, add a teaspoon of vinegar in there, and just mix it up, and you'll be amazed. Let it sit for a minute. You're gonna get some buttermilk. All right, and just give that a quick little stir. See how it starts to come together? The oven is already preheated on 350 degrees, and we're gonna put it into little individual ramekins, because I just like the way that looks when it comes out. Everybody has their own serving of cornbread. You don't want it too loose, but look at that. It almost looks like a nice cake batter. And I'm not gonna stir it too much. I just wanna get most of the lumps out and make sure that everything is incorporated, okay? So now I have some butter that's kind of softened. I don't want it too soft, but take your brush, and on your ramekins, it's important, just go around and just get into the crevices here. And that's the thing, when I like coming to you and showing you my Louisiana kitchen, I'm not gonna show you anything that's overly complicated that I don't think you can do at home. Everything may not be fast and easy, but, or may not be fast, but I'm gonna make it as easy as I can for you, okay? So, look at this. This is butter. Cornbread is mixed. Take a nice serving of it, put it in my dish. I'm gonna put another one in there because it's gonna rise, so you don't want it to the top. Don't take it more than about halfway. Look at that. I'm gonna do one more. And these are ready for the oven. I'm gonna put them in the oven, let them bake up. And if you get some on the side, just kind of wipe that off. I'm gonna take that off there because I don't want that going everywhere. If you have more, like I do, you can put it in something else, use something else, use it all. You can make little griddle cakes, however you like to do it. No waste, okay? So we're gonna put these in the oven, and then I have my rice already going. I already made some rice because that's not the star of our show. You should have rice on tap for almost everything. At least that's what I do when I'm at home in my kitchen. So again, the red beans are going. We're gonna pull those in a few minutes. We're gonna get our cornbread going, and we're gonna show you all of our finished product in just a few. Okay, so beans are cooking, cornbread is baking. Now we're gonna add the sausage. We're gonna start cooking the sausage off so that you can top your beans off with the sausage if that's what you would choose to do. Now remember, if your entire household likes to cook the meat in the beans, it's okay. I will allow you to do that. Go ahead and do that. This is just my style of cooking because it's my Louisiana kitchen. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna slice, and we're gonna put this in, okay? Let this saute up. This is some nice local sausage that I get actually from Contreras Meat. I love using this here. It has an awesome flavor, and I use it in so many other things. So, and that's the thing that you'll learn to love. You know, I love certain products. find out, you know, your butcher where you go, and I'm quite sure they'll have certain things for you also. But one thing that we're going to put in here also is some Tabasco. Now, I'm quite sure you all have heard about Tabasco. It's great on everything. It gives a distinct flavor to your food. So we're going to add some Tabasco in there also. Okay, so my sausage is going. I'm going to let the sausage cook. I'm just going to give it a quick little stir. Stir, kind of balance it out so it's touching the bottom, all the little pieces, and then that way everything can get that nice caramelization in there, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But while we're doing that, because we're going to multitask, we're going to make our honey butter. So I have some butter in here that is kind of softened here. You see how I can take the back of the spoon and just press it down in here? So this is what I'm going to use for my cornbread when I put it on top. So I'm just going to mix this in. This is a little mortar and pestle, the vessel of it that I'm using. So I'm just going to do that. Back of the spoon, press, add a little bit of honey at a time. I'm going to use all the honey, but I'm going to try and incorporate my butter to make a nice little paste in here. So now I'm just going to give it a little stir. You see, as I'm doing that, it's coming off. Can you put this in the blender? Yes, you can. It'll make life somewhat easy for you if you like, that's what you like to do. So whatever works for you, incorporate a little more honey in there. This is bocage honey, again, local. Use local where you are. I like to use them. They're actually the provider for my honey mustard. So I use a soybean blend. That's where the bees actually pollinate the soybean over there. So it gives you that nice flavor profile that I like. Look at that. And you can make this in advance. You can save it for other things. This can go on toast. It can go on just a nice piece of yellow cake, sponge cake, something like that. Very versatile. So we're going to stir all of this in. Look at that. That's your honey butter. This is one tip I want you to keep in your back pocket, because that's something, again, that is very versatile and you can use it all times. So now we're going to give this a nice little stir. And you see how it's starting to gain some color over here? I did add a little more onion and celery to it just because I like to. Nothing wrong with using extra onion and celery, things like that. It just gives you more flavor in what you're cooking. So I'm going to let this go for about 2 more minutes, give it that color. I'm going to pull out the cornbread, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the beans. And actually, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the beans right now. I'm going to take the beans, and you see how some of the liquid is up on top. I'm going to take my spoon. Let me rinse this off real quick. You can actually use another spoon if I had vegans or vegetarians in the house that I was feeding right now. But I'm going to take the back of the spoon, just like I did with the honey butter, and I'm going to mash the beans, and that's going to give you that nice creaminess that I'm looking for. So this is an important step in getting your Creole style red beans and rice, okay? So just mash. If you want to see that way, look, just pull it up there, just mash some of your beans. You don't have to mash all of them, but just some. You see the difference in the way that broth is starting to look now? It's smelling amazing, the aroma. Just imagine coming in, if you put these on in a crock pot in the morning before you go to work, imagine coming in and the aroma of your house smelling like dinner is ready. New Orleans style dinner is ready. So, all right, let's put that honey butter on there. It's not loose here, but when you put that honey butter on this hot cornbread, look how that starts to melt. I added a little bit of parsley on here because we eat with our eyes. So we're gonna do that. Sprinkle a little bit of black pepper because heat and sweet goes well together. So let's sit that there. Ready. Let's take our bowl over here, and we're gonna get our beans out and put some beans at the bottom. And again, you know, if you splash, just wipe it off later. It's okay. Get that, get the juice in there. Get my rice. I put my rice, I buttered the bowl. Then we're gonna turn the rice out right here. Look at that. Another little sprig of parsley. Yes, you can cook like me. I keep it nice and simple for you. Pick that up, put it back on there. Okay, and I'm gonna put some sausage on here because I like sausage. So here we go. Put some sausage around on that side. Put some sausage around on this side here. Let me wipe my plate off for you because I like a clean plate here. Here you have it, Louisiana style, red beans and rice. See you next time.